ChatGPT versus Gemini versus Claude. Which one is actually best for productivity? Most people assume the AI that's the smartest or has the most features is automatically the best. And that's why they feel busy but get nothing done. So I tested all three as my only productivity assistant for 30 days. Planning, tasks, decisions, anything that was real work. By the end of this video, you'll know which AI actually moves your life forward and which one just feels productive. And honestly, the winner surprised me. To keep this as objective as possible, I'm scoring the AI tools across 4 main categories that actually matter for productivity. Capture speed, which is how fast ideas are turned into something actually usable. Thinking support, how well the AI supports and clarifies your own thoughts. Execution help, does it actually help you move forward? And friction cost, how much mental energy does it cost to maintain? By the end, the scores are definitely going to matter. But what surprised me the most wasn't the winner, it was why it won. Okay, category number 1, capture speed. How fast can we turn abstract thoughts into something actually usable? This category is more valuable than most people realize. Your brain can only hold so many pieces of information at once. Anything else reduces mental clarity and you start to have friction and forget things. So I tested one thing relentlessly across all of these tools. How fast can I go from idea to done? Coming in last place is Gemini. Now, Gemini is super powerful, but it's very slow to start. Let's say I have an idea mid-walk, like I need to reshoot this certain hook of a video. With Gemini, I would have to explain the context, clarify what stage I'm in, clarify my goal, and then restate the context yet again. By the time it gave me something useful, the idea was on the edge of being gone. So with that being considered, Gemini gets a 4 out of 10. Now, coming in second place is Claude. Claude is calm, it's thoughtful, and it's very clear. Now, when I'm already knee-deep in a task, like working on a script or refining different thumbnails, Claude is absolutely excellent. But as soon as I try to dump just some raw thoughts into Claude, everything kind of falls apart. Claude needs structure up front. Without it, it's not very useful. It's a great tool, it's just very poor at interception. Claude earns a modest 6 out of 10. Coming in first place is ChatGPT. This surprised me. Not only was ChatGPT super fast, it was also very forgiving. No matter what I was doing, I could just pull out my phone and immediately go to a voice to text. No matter what I said to it, it understood and it brought me more clarity. To be more specific, one time I was working on a lot of different tasks. I was trying to hire a video editor, I was working on a script, I was also working on a school project. Throughout that entire time, I stayed in one chat with ChatGPT and was constantly reminding him of the next thing I was working on. There was never a moment where it asked me to wait or it didn't follow along with what I was saying. There was zero mental tax for me to change directions when I was using ChatGPT. It turned all that mental noise into structure without any of my own usage. And when you can instantly capture any idea, you get rid of that mental friction. You stop wondering if you're going to forget to write something down. Everything is just automatically captured as soon as you send the message. ChatGPT scores a 9 out of 10 for capture speed. Now at this point, I thought I already knew what tool was gonna run away with the win. Then I tested thinking quality and everything changed. Category number 2 is thinking quality. Does it soften or sharpen your own thinking? Now, this is where smarter AIs are going to excel, but this is also where most productivity systems break people. In last place is ChatGPT, and here's the truth nobody likes hearing. ChatGPT can make you feel productive without making you think. When I'm outlining ideas, ChatGPT will spit off an entire script for me, or it'll help me think of every little detail I could add. And over time, I started to subtly notice I was agreeing way too quickly, especially when it came to making bigger decisions. We would almost instantly agree, even if I wanted to be pushed and challenged quite a bit. So it was great for execution, but overall it's going to damage your long-term thinking. ChatGPT gets a 6 out of 10 for thinking quality. Second place goes to Gemini. Now here, Gemini is a lot sharper than it looks. When I asked Gemini to pressure test or push back against any of my ideas, it often made better assumptions than ChatGPT. It challenges my own thoughts, pushes back, and forces me to see angles I didn't previously consider. This was especially helpful whenever I was working on school projects, because instead of just working with a baseline level of knowledge, I was able to pull from multiple different materials instead. But it's a little bit inconsistent. Sometimes it gives me the most brilliant answer I've ever seen an AI do, and then other times it's extremely vague. So because of that, I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10. Now, first place is Claude. Hands down, Claude is the best thinking tool I've ever used. When I used Claude to reason through longer term projects, bigger scale timelines, or literally anything that's extra complicated, it slowed me down in all the right ways. Specifically, I was trying to decide between starting to create short form content or doubling down on my long form. Claude didn't give me an answer. Instead, it did quite the opposite. It prompted me to identify what I wanted to be in a few years. From there, I was able to create my own answer based on its questions and its assumptions. And that clarified my decision for me. Claude didn't make the decision. Claude made my thinking sharper. This was the only tool that genuinely made me feel smarter over time. So Claude easily gets a 10 out of 10. Now, here's where it gets a little bit interesting, because smart thinking doesn't mean anything if it's not constantly moving you forward. But before we jump into the next category, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm always pushing out new content about systems and AI so you can become a better version of yourself. Okay, category number 3, output usefulness. Does the output actually move work forward? Smart outputs are useless if they don't do anything. So coming in last place again is going to be Gemini. Gemini often gave me ideas, but not actual steps I could follow. So when I asked it to help me improve video retention, it would list off things like improve the narrative, have better visuals, have better storytelling. And those are great, but those aren't actionable. So when I sat down to actually go through my script, I had no idea where to even start. The ideas were great and they were spot on, but the steps were completely vague. So I'm gonna give Gemini a 5 out of 10. Now, coming in second place is Claude. Claude produces complicated, elegant answers that really hit on everything you need. The answers are clear, thoughtful, and structured. Claude will really go in depth to make sure you understand everything you need. But once again, the steps can be a little bit too abstract unless you're explicitly pushing prompts to find steps. Now, coming in first place with the most decisive win we've seen yet is going to be ChatGPT. Checklists, plans, execution-ready steps, literally everything you need to get stuff done, ChatGPT is automatically doing it for you. It doesn't explain, it just helps you move forward. So ChatGPT is easily scoring a 10 out of 10. Now at this point, ChatGPT is clearly winning, but there's one more category I haven't talked about yet. And this is where most productivity systems and personal assistants end up dying. Category 4 is the maintenance cost. How much mental energy does it take to continue using? Now, last place is by far the worst. We're looking at Gemini again. It requires constant adjustment, constant fine tuning, restating the context you already gave it. Gemini is getting a 3 out of 10 and it's basically completely unusable when it comes to the maintenance portion of this video. Now, middle of the pack is again Claude. Claude's stable but demanding. If you're consistently using Claude every single day, it's going to build up all the necessary context it needs to assist you best. It's great for thinking days when you really need to dive deep on specific topics, but on low energy days, constantly giving all of that context repeatedly can be a little bit draining. I noticed on days where I wasn't feeling 100% energy, it was a little bit difficult to want to get on Claude and give all the context. Coming in first place is ChatGPT. There's no mental tax, there's no constant energy drain. Chat just works, and it's easily going to earn a 10 out of 10. Now here's the real answer when you're looking at ChatGPT versus Gemini versus Claude. The scores aren't even the real point of this video. Here's what I mean. Yes, ChatGPT technically wins my scoring system, but not because it's the smartest or has the most functionality. It wins because it respects human energy the most. Claude is fantastic for deep thinking, and Gemini even has moments of brilliance. But ChatGPT is the only one that captures fast information when you need it, but it disappears when you don't need it, and that's exactly why it's stuck. Now, after 30 days of testing all of these, ChatGPT led to an actual measurable impact for myself. I uploaded 4 more videos than I did normally. My decision making got faster, but not because the tool itself, because I was spending less energy and less time preparing other things. In my next video, I'll show you how I turned this into an AI personal assistant, so the tool works with my brain and not against it. But for now, don't ask which AI is the best. Ask which one helps me move even when I don't feel like it. And that's the answer for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.